Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible now? Is that everything is fine now? Is it fine now? Is everything is fine from my end? Now the voice is audible. Just quickly give me a confirmation that now it is fine. Now audible. Let me check it from my end as well. Just a second. Okay, now it is fine. Okay, I have checked it from my end. Now we are satisfied with the audibility of the video and the video as well. Let's start with the first question. So as we know that we are going to discuss the 50 questions for the finance, right? They are mostly of your finance static portion. And the agenda of the session is to make sure that you are doing your revision in a right way and in a right direction, right? So our first question is, which of the following are foreign currency account that can be opened by a resident individual with an authorized dealer bank? So your options are exchange earners foreign currency account, resident foreign currency account. First one was domestic and this one is normal. And then A, B, C and AB. What do you think is the right answer in this case? Okay. So basically D is the right answer. All three are your foreign currency account. They can be opened by we can say, a resident individual with the authorized dealer. Okay, so E is not a right answer. A, B, C, all three. The first three are correct. Okay, let's just discuss about the second question. The RBI in 2019 launched an electronic platform for buying and selling foreign exchange by the retail customers of the banks. Which one of the following is the name of the platform? Very interesting. 207th question कर रहे हैं. Yes, great everyone. Foreign exchange retail. And now recently it has been connected with the Bharat Bill Payment System. BPPS के साथ भी इसे जोड़ दिया गया है. That means the person can buy the foreign exchange through Indian rupees through online mode through BPPS. तो ये भी आपको बताना चाहिए फॉरेक्स रिटेल के बारे में. और इसकी कुछ बेसिक चीजें जैसे कि इसके लॉन्च ईयर है, राइट? तो 2019 आप फैक्ट याद रखेंगे, राइट? लेट्स जस्ट मूव अहेड. Which of the following is or are the advantages of international banking for a bank? What do you think is the benefit in this case? Low marginal cost, prestige, uh, tax efficiency, A and B, or E is B and C? Okay, Mixed answer. Let me explain you this one. See, the right answer in this case is this, that is A and B. A and B. Now read the question very carefully. It says, what which of the following is or are a advantage of international banking for a bank? That means all the banks are getting benefited from that particular fact, and that is low marginal cost or prestige. These are two factors that can lower the cost of the international banking system. Why not tax efficiency? Because tax efficiency is dependent upon the customers. This is not something that is available to the all customers. Suppose there is a customer who is based out of Dubai, and Dubai is a very, we can say, tax efficient country. Why? Because the tax benefits are being given to the customers as well as to the banks. So this is not something that is provided to all the banks, but the banks who are dealing with the Dubai customers, right? So these tax efficiency is not something available to all the banks. However, low marginal cost prestige can be, we can say, can be attained by many of the or more of the bank. Okay, so B and C, A and B is the right option, that is low marginal cost and prestige. Move ahead. Okay, question number 4. Which of the following statement is not correct about the GST? Which of the following statement is not correct about the GST? So there are only 4 options. However, in exam you get 5 options. So you can deal with these 4 questions as of now. We have to tell the incorrect one, which is not correct. Incorrect बताना है हमें. No. D is not a right answer. Not even C is the right answer. C. B is the incorrect one. It says over the period of time, GST is expected to abolish all the direct taxes levied on India. No. The implementation or the purpose of implementing the GST is not to eliminate the direct taxes. This is not what the agenda of GST. Instead, it is to ensure that we can increase our tax revenue for the government, right? And this is what the C option says, that it is a more simplified tax system in India, which results in better tax collection. GST is expected to unify the tax structure in India. So basically, we are going to simplify it and unify one GST indirect tax collection system, which is simpler for the government and for the end taxpayer to pay, right? And GST is like a last point retail tax. GST is going to be collected at a point of sale. That is also true. So what is not true is this B option. B option is not true because the agenda of implementing GST is not to eliminate the direct taxes completely. Okay, so B is the right answer. Let's just move ahead. Question number 234. Which of the following was the 4th biggest US investment bank that collapsed during the financial crisis of 2007 to 8 and filed the largest bankruptcy in US history? Now this is something related to your financial crisis uh, scenario, or that we have discussed in our static portion as well. What do you think is the right answer in this case? बहुत ही फेमस है ये, जिसकी वजह से 2008 फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस आया था. यू मस्ट बी अवेयर ऑफ दिस. 234. Yes, B is the right answer. B? No, B is not a right answer. Lehman Brothers was the one. Because of that, the financial crisis in 2008 happened. Lehman Brothers was a global financial service that was founded in 1847. Right? what they were doing, that they were creating securities of the loans, of the bad loans, and they were creating securities of those securities. That was creating a lot of complexity, right? So Lehman was the fourth largest investment bank in the United States that we can say declared their bankruptcy in the US history. तो लेमन ब्रदर्स को जरूर याद रखेंगे, और इफ यू हैव सम टाइम watch something related to Lehman Brothers, that how the financial crisis in 2008 happened. ठीक है, that will give you a lot of information. आगे देखते हैं. Question number 244, which of the following is not a category under priority sector? प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर में कौन सी कैटेगरी नहीं आती? एग्रीकल्चर, एमएसएमई, सोशल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, नॉन रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, एक्सपोर्ट क्रेडिट. 244. No, E is not a correct answer in this case. Why export credit is not a priority sector? It is a part of your priority sector. Why? Because for economy, the export is really good. We want more and more exporters to export the goods and services to another countries. That will bring a lot of foreign exchange to India. That will help our rupee valuation to a better way. अभी बहुत ज़्यादा depreciate कर रहा है rupee. तो export हमें बढ़ाने चाहिए so that we can manage the valuation of our rupee at the forex level. Right? So export credit is good. If you have read many of the, we can say, RBI की जो regulations है, they are also somehow in a way that they are promoting more and more export in India. So export credit is something that is being encouraged in India. If we talk about the social infrastructure, obviously for social infrastructure जिसमें private companies खुद नहीं आना चाहती, right? Because the private companies want profit, but the government is working for the well-being of the society, right? For social infrastructure is also, we can say, is a part of your social, is a part of your priority sector. MSME, again, they are the, we can say, the pillars of the economy, right? They provide job, they provide investment, they create demand in the economy. Agriculture, we need to support the farmers. Otherwise, our vegetables, or we can say the basic food requirements, will get too expensive for a common man to buy, right? So what we are left with is non-renewable energy, because our renewable energies are the one which we are working on right now as a priority sector, and non-renewable energy is not a part of that. So D is the right answer. Okay, चलो आगे चलते हैं. I hope it is clear. Question number 270. When did RBI introduce the concept of classification of money into M1, M2, M3 and M4? Yes. 270th question that we are doing right now. Are you sure D is the right answer? D is not the correct answer in this case. C is the right answer. That is on April 1977, RBI introduced this concept of M1, M2 and M3 and M4. And before this, they would have a concept of single M that was denoted as a currency. Okay. 272 SAFESI Act 2002 allows the bank and financial institution to recover their dues from the borrower without the intervention of court or tribunal. What R stands for? R stands for refinancing, reconstruction, reconciliation, repossess or residue. What do you think is the right answer? Great, good job. Reconstruction. R stands for reconstruction because the agenda is to reconstruct the bad, we can say bad performing banks and financial institutions, so that we can revive them. It's not just to make them liquidate, but we are also working on reconstructing them, restructuring them, so that they can revive back in the economy. Because banks or financial institution का simply liquidate हो जाना, bankrupt हो जाना is not easy for any kind of economy, because they are holding a lot of money of the public, right? Yes, so B is the right answer. Great. Question number 279. Which of the following is not considered a niche or differentiated bank? Which of the following is not considered as a niche or differentiated bank? Not है, not. No, B is not a right answer. In this case, A is the right answer. That is commercial bank. Commercial bank is not something we call it as a differentiated or a niche bank. But as we compare with the payments bank or a small finance bank, these are considered to be a niche and differentiated banks, because they are catering to a particular audience, right? They are targeting a particular audience, right? And RRBs इसमें भी ये एक rural area में target कर रहे हैं. Urban cooperative banks, now these are cooperative banks जो members बनाते हैं, right? And they are catering to the requirement of their members only, or to the urban area, depending कि वो उनके members होने चाहिए, right? So all of them have some differentiation, but commercial bank do not have such differentiation. They are very common in nature, and they have different we can say compliances as per the RBI as well. So again, commercial bank is the right answer. A is the right answer. Right, let's just move ahead. Question number 284. Yes, a central bank's balance sheet typically centers around the three traditional center banking functions. Which of the following is not one of them? A, issuer of currency, bank to government, lender of last resort, ANC, AND. 284. Yes. Which of the following is not one of the main function, traditional banking function, as per the central's bank balance sheet? 284. Yes. I'm waiting for your answers. No, B is not a right answer. B is not a right answer. Let me just explain you this. So basically, when we talk about the RBI's balance sheet, RBI balance sheet have three main things, or we can say three main functions of RBI that do affects the balance sheet, What are these three functions are: issuer of currency. Obviously, this will be shown in the balance sheet of RBI. Then banker to government. Obviously, the RBI gives loan to the government as well. We talked about WMA, ways and means advances, that is being given by RBI to government as a short-term loan, right? So we can say that RBI is a banker to government as well, right? Now, the last one is banker to banks. Obviously, if the RBI is giving loan to government, the banker, or we can say the RBI is also a bank to other banks as well, because at time of illiquidity, at times when banks do not have money in their hand, they go and ask for the money from the RBI, right? So these three are the main function that directly impacts the balance sheet of the RBI. Now, lender of last resort is also true. However, this does not mention a function This does not mention a function that we can say in respect of central bank's balance sheet, it does not show any function, right? This is a thing that we know. Okay, this is a concept. This is not something that can be seen in the balance sheet of the RBI. Okay, so lender of last resort is also one of the prominent function of the RBI. However, in respect of the RBI's balance sheet, the above mentioned functions have gained more importance than the lender of last resort. चलिए, question number 291. Question number 291. When did the RBI form the Asset Development Fund? Asset Development Fund. When did RBI form ADF? Right. B is the right answer. B is the right answer. That is between 1997 to 98. Great. So Asset Development Fund, as the name tells you, RBI created this in order to create fund for all the subsidiaries, right? So that they can create development funds. Okay, this is a provision specifically made till date now towards the investment that RBI does in the subsidiaries and associated institutions and to meet internal capital expenditures of these subsidiaries. Okay, ADF. Okay. Question number 301. When was the CCIL, that is the Clearing Corporation of India Limited, set up? 301. Yes. E is the right answer. That is on April 2001, the CCIL was set up. 298. Which of the following statement is not an advantage of the RTGS? एक बारी मुझे कमेंट्स में जरूर बताएंगे what RTGS stands for and then the answer as well. That which of the following is not an advantage of the RTGS? Great. Real time gross settlement system, RTGS. And then what is the right answer? 3 to 4 months of RBI 247 for current affairs are enough for you to deal with the phase 2 finance. Right? Last, or we can say latest, 3 to 4 months. और वो भी जो आपको कुछ शॉर्ट कंटेंट दिया हुआ है आपके कोर्स में, दैट इज द वन दैट इज यूजफुल. यस. D is not a right answer. See, the remitter need to use physical check or demand draft. This is not something that is used while doing the RTGS. RTGS is completely digital in nature. Okay? So this is not an advantage of RTGS at all. Okay? So C is the right answer. So what is the advantage? इसका उल्टा क्या होगा? That the remitter need not require to use a physical check or demand draft. This is the advantage. इसमें उल्टा लिखा हुआ है. ठीक है? Yes, no kind of physical check or demand draft is used while doing a RTGS. It's completely digital. Yeah, chalo. Let's move ahead. 310, what does it refer to? It enables payment system to be used in conjunction with other payment system as well. It allows PPIs issuers, system providers, and system participants from different systems to undertake, clear, and settle the transactions across system without participating in the multiple system. Hmm. देखो जो शुभम ने सबसे पहले आंसर दिया एंड दैट इज ऑल्सो करेक्ट. Yes, A is the right one. That is interoperability. Okay, interoperability enables payment system to be used in conjunction with the other payment system as well. It allows all the participants like system providers, PPIs, and system participants uh, to use it from different system to undertake and clear and settle various kind of transactions without participating in a multiple systems. So this is what interoperability is. Okay? No, UPI is not correct answer in this case. We are talking about a system that enables the payment system to be used in conjunction with other payment system. Now UPI is not something that can be used with other payment systems. Right? Now there would be one particular app that you are dedicatedly using with one single application. Right? Chalo. The outstanding amount in full KYC PPI at any point of the time in a year should not exceed dash 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 4 lakh, 3 lakh or 1 lakh 50,000. Yes. 300, 313th question. Okay, I'm not getting any answer. So the right answer in this case is B. That is 2 lakh. The outstanding amount for the full KYC of PPI cannot exceed 2,000, 2 lakh rupees in a year, per year. So this is what you need to remember. चलो आगे चलते हैं. Question number 15. Which of the following best suits the Nostro account and which of the following best suits the Vostro accounts? हम ये दोनों क्वेश्चंस को एक साथ डील करेंगे बिकॉज दे बोथ आर रिलेटेड टू ईच अदर. Yes, question number 22 and question number 23. Yes, 323 का B is correct. Okay. ठीक है. And what is 322? Yes, A. Our account with you. Great, great. So if a If an Indian bank is opening its account, its current account with a foreign bank, it becomes a nostro account. But if a foreign bank is coming and opening an account with the Indian bank, then it's a vostro account. ठीक है, बहुत सिंपल है, कंफ्यूजन हो जाती है कभी कभार. Many of the students get confused with the nostro and vostro. So this kind of clarity must be there with you. Question number 18. When was the FEDAI set up? That is Foreign Exchange Dealers Association of India. No, D is not the right answer. B is the right answer. That is 1958. In 1958, FEDAI, that is the Foreign Exchange Dealer Association of India, was set up. Yes, B. And this was created and incorporated under Section 25. Section 25 of the Companies Act, 1956. चलिए आगे चलते हैं. Yes. What is the amount of life insurance covered in Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana? What is the amount of life insurance covered in Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana? Now, when we are catering with these kinds of questions, first, these are from a chapter of your financial inclusion. Okay? Because Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is for the financial inclusivity, that all the persons have a basic saving account with themselves, right? Another challenge would be many of the students don't know what this PMJDY stands for. You must be aware of basic government schemes which are there, existing there for the financial inclusion. Then the life insurance that has been covered, some basic details about that scheme. So C is the right answer. That is 30,000. 30,000 is the life cover under this Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. C is the right answer. Right? Let's just move ahead. Okay. Which of the following statement correctly states the function of financial system? Okay, so I read aloud for all of you. The first one is collection of savings and their distribution for industrial management, that is to link savers and borrowers. Transformation of assets and liabilities, provide a mechanism for price discovery. A, B and C all are correct. A and B are correct. Question is, which of the following statement correctly state the function of the financial system? Yes, D is the right answer. So all the statements that are there above written, they all are correctly stating the functions of financial system. That is, financial system exists so that we can collect the saving and then we can use it for other industrial management and purposes. So we are linking the savers and the borrowers. The another target or the purpose of financial system is to transform the assets and liability and then provide a mechanism for the price discovery that is transparent in nature. Yes, true. Good everyone. Question number 355. When was the UTI established? Very basic question, and this is, we can say, Unit Trust of India is one of the basic, we can say, institution as a mutual fund. Question number 21. Yes. 1964 is the right answer. UTI was established in 1964 or set up in 1964. Let's just move ahead. Question number 22. RBI is the Central Bank of India, has been guiding, monitoring, regulating, controlling, and promoting the banking as well as the financial system. Which of the following is or are not a function of RBI? The first one is to maintain the monetary stability, to maintain the financial stability, to maintain the stable payment system, to promote the development of the financial infrastructure in the terms of market and system, to regulate the capital market. Question number 22. Yes, E is the right answer. That is, the capital market is being regulated by the SEBI and not the RBI. So this is not one of the main function of the RBI. When did the abolition of ad hoc treasury bills take place? Abolition. Question number 365. Question number 23D. No, D is not a right answer. 2000. A is the right answer. That is 1997. 1997 May, this was removed. That is, ad hoc treasury bills were taken place, or we can say replaced, with the WMA, that is ways and means advances. Okay, चलो आगे चलते हैं. Which of the following correctly relates to red herring prospectus? Yes, D is the right answer. That is A and B. That is, red herring prospectus is useful when the issuer company wants to test the market before finalizing the issue size or the issue price. Red herring prospectus does not include the complete particulars of the quantum or the price of the securities included therein. Okay, so yes, D is the right answer. B is not correct. Only B is not correct. A is also correct. So that is the reason D is correct. 387. If the share prices is more than the intrinsic value and has a higher PE ratio, then the stock is known as dash. Yes, very simple. That is overvalued stocks. These are overvalued stocks which are having more price than their intrinsic value. Who are the key players in the mutual funds? Who are the key players in the mutual fund? C. C. So इसमें B is the right answer, that is sponsor, AMC and mutual fund trust. You are also right with the custodian कि custodian की भी तो requirement है because custody में कौन रखेगा shares. So we can say इसमें correction करने वाली है कि यहाँ पर custodian भी add होगा with the along with the sponsor. ठीक है, तो we can say that these are four key players that are required in the mutual fund market, right? So sponsor is also we can say a part of this mutual fund. आगे देखते हैं. So you can correct it here. ठीक है. Question number 27. A persistent fall in the general price levels of goods and service is known as deflation, disinflation, stagflation or depression. Yes, A is the right answer, that is deflation. Deflation is the general decline in the price of goods and services occurring when the inflation rate is falls below the 0%. ठीक है? So deflation is a right answer in this case. Good job. Okay. Which of the following statement is or are closely related to the stagflation? A situation in which the economy experiences a recession, a situation in which the economy has inflation and recession together, an economy where unemployment is high. D, B and C are correct. E, A and C are correct. Yes, D is the right answer. That is B and C. That means the economy is facing the high inflation with recession wherein there is high unemployment. So this is the situation of stagflation. Question number 29. When too much money chases too few goods, the resulting inflation is called dash. When too much money chases too few goods, the resulting inflation is called dash. Question number 29. Yes, good. This is a demand pull inflation. The inflation that has occurred because of the demand or demand pull. Good job. Okay. Which among of the following is a direct impact of imported inflation? Which among of the following is the direct impact of imported inflation? Yes, B is the right answer. That is, imported inflation will lead to current account deficit in the BOP statement. As we know that imported inflation is a kind of inflation that increases the general value of the imported goods and services that we can say further led to a costly input for any kind of manufacturing company or for the end consumer as well. Right? This can also happen because of the rupee depreciation. That is, कि रुपी की हमारी वैल्यू इतनी ज़्यादा कम हो गई है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डॉलर्स. ठीक है, वी आर पेइंग एक्स्ट्रा मनी टू बाय डॉलर्स. राइट, सो दिस इज रुपी डेप्रिसिएशन. अगर ये भी केस होता है देन इम्पोर्टेंट इन्फ्लेशन हैपन्स. राइट, सो 440 क्वेश्चन का बी इज करेक्ट. ओके, ठीक है. Which of the following authorities regulate the FPI in India? Which of the following authorities regulates the FPI in India? ये एक्चुअली 31 क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए. चलो एनीवेज हम इसे 31 कर देते हैं. No, how RBI is the one who is regulating the FPI? See, FPIs are being regulated by the SEBI because every FPI need to get registration with the SEBI in order to participate in the Indian stock market. Right, and whosoever is participating in the Indian stock market, the SEBI is the one who is regulating them. So how FPI is being regulated by RBI? Just because they are dealing with banks? See, FPIs are required to register with SEBI. But in order to participate in the Indian stock market, they have to comply with few regulations of, say, Indian banking system and RBI as well. Because these banks are actually dealing with the foreign exchange, right? So they need to connect with these banks, but this is not something required, or we can say FPI के लिए ये without even participating in the Indian stock market they can do so, right? But RBI is not actually regulating these FPIs. ठीक है, so SEBI is the one who is actually registration requiring the registration of these FPIs. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 32. Which of the following platform is separate channel enables the FPIs to invest in the debt market in India? 450. Yes. No, D is not a right answer. See, this is a very important question. VRR से आपको क्वेश्चन आ सकता है इस बारी because there was changes that were made in the VRR and this is something which is related to the FPIs as well. तो इसके बारे में अभी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. डी इज नॉट अ राइट आंसर. बी इज द राइट आंसर. दैट इज वॉलंटरी रिटेंशन रूट. This is a route that was allowed by the RBI for the FPI so that they can retain in Indian stock market for a longer period of time, so that our foreign portfolio investors are not volatile in nature. If there is a too much volatile in the we can say in the foreign investment, the Indian stock market becomes also volatile in nature, and that is something not very good sign for being a good economy. एक stable economy की stable stock market रहेगी तो it is a good sign, but एक stable economy की volatile रहेगी stock market, so it's not a good sign for any kind of investors, because that gives a lot of रेड साइंस टू द इन्वेस्टर्स, राइट. तो वॉलंटरी रिटेंशन रूट निकाला गया था ताकि सारे एफपीआईज जो हैं लॉन्गर पीरियड तक इन्वेस्टेड रहे हमारे इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट में, एंड देयर इज लेस वोलेटिलिटी इन द इंडियन स्टॉक मार्केट, राइट. And this stands for voluntary retention route. However, now the RBI have changed this VRR route, and they are saying now this VRR do not exist anymore. ठीक है. अभी इन्होंने रिसेंट एमपीसी में बात करी थी, दैट इज इन देयर 59th एमपीसी मीटिंग हुई थी इनकी, एंड दे डिस्कस दैट वी आर गोइंग टू रिमूव द वीआरआर. दैट इज ऐसा कोई भी रूट नहीं रहेगा नाउ, एंड इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट रूल वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ जनरल रूट, और जनरल लिमिट रहेगी दैट मस्ट बी फॉलोड बाय एनी एफपीआई. ठीक है. तो वीआरआर अब से एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता एज पर रीसेंट न्यूज. यस. सो एक और क्वेश्चन कर लेते हैं. लेट्स कंसीडर दिस वन एज 33. द मिनिमम रिटेंशन पीरियड अंडर द वीआरआर स्टैंड्स फॉर 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years और 6 years. No, 4 years is not a correct answer. 3 years is the minimum retention period for any kind of FPI who is coming through VRR. 3 years minimum retention period है. Public sector undertaking is a state-owned enterprise in which the majority of the shares are owned by a central or any state government. Consider the following options related to different categories of PSU. Select the odd one out. Select the odd one out. Central public sector enterprises, public sector banks, state level public enterprises, Maharatna companies. 452. Yes. Question number 34. Yes. D is the right answer. That is Maharatna companies. So basically, if we talk about the CPSEs, or we can say PSUs, these are being categorized under 4 or 5 categories. That is central public sector enterprises, strategic, central public sector enterprises, non-strategic, CPSEs, then there is state level CPSEs, state level public enterprises, and there is public sector banks. These are the categories, and based on the financial performance and their growth, they are being further divided into three companies, that is Maharatna companies, Navratna companies, and Mini Ratna companies. So this is not something a category of a CPSCs. Okay, question number 34. D is the correct answer. Disinvestment is the action of an organization or government selling or liquidating an asset or subsidiary out of following options. Which of the following are objective of disinvestment? Reducing the financial burden on the government due to the insufficient and poorly function PSUs, funding growth and development programs, to depoliticize non-essential services. A and B are correct. A, B and C are correct. Yes. E is the right answer. That is, all three statements are given, are correct. ठीक है, इसे हम 36 कंसीडर कर लेते हैं. Dash is the nodal department for formulation of the policy on FDIs, foreign direct investment. Who is the one who is actually creating the regulations and formulation of such regulations for the FDIs? So your options are RBI, NABARD, SEBI, Department for Promotion and Industry and Internal Trade, Department for Investment and Public Asset Management. Question number 36. Yes, RBI, NABARD, Department of Promotion and Industry and Internal Trade, SEBI or Department for Investment and Public Asset Management. A is not a right answer in this case. No. So C is the right answer. That is Department for Promotion and Industry and Internal Trade. Okay, this is the one who was established in 1995 and reconstituted in 2000 with the merger of Department of Industrial Development. So in 2018, any matters which were related to the e-commerce were transferred to the department, and 2019 May the department has been given charge for matters related to internal trade as well. Okay, that is the reason this is the one who is dealing with the foreign direct investment and support the balanced development of the industries as well. So DPIM is the right answer. Sorry, DPIM कह रही हूँ, DPIIT. ठीक है, is the right answer in this case. चलो. Which of the following methods of disinvestments allows the simultaneous sale of Government of India stakes in various CPSEs across diverse sectors through a single offering? No, A is not a correct answer. A is not a right answer. Strategic sale is not a right answer. Yes, right. Mayank, you are right. So D is the right answer. That is through ETF route. What government do that all the shareholdings of the CPSEs are being converted into ETF and then are being offered to the public as well, and they also invest in that. In case they want to exit from many of the CPSEs, they want to release their money, take out their money from these CPSEs. So basically, they can simply sell off these ETFs in the market and liquidate themselves. And at this time, they are disinvesting from various kind of CPSs. Okay? So ETF is the right one. Consider the following statement about P notes, that is participatory notes, and answer the correct one. P notes are used by overseas market participants that do not want to get registered as a FIIs. P notes may aid in the movement of black money or unaccounted funds. P notes is a derivative instrument. Yes. P notes are really important for all of you. No, 38D is not correct. E is correct. So basically all three statements regarding the P notes that are being given here are correct. So these are, we can say, participatory notes are instrument issued by a foreign funds and investors which are not registered with SEBI at all, and they want to invest in the Indian stock market. So they are generally issued by overseas, by associates of Indian based foreign brokerages, and then domestic and other domestic institutional investors as well. Okay. So that allows the investor to have a exposure to the Indian stock market without even registering with the SEBI. Okay, so these are derivative instruments, yes, because their value is being dependent upon the stocks of the Indian banks. Okay. चलिए, हमने अभी कौन सा डिस्कस किया था? 38, इसे हम 39 कर देते हैं. चलिए, the RBI has 4 subsidiaries. From the options given below, select the one which is not a subsidiary of the RBI. Yes, very easy. Obviously, NBFCs are not a subsidiaries of RBI. What deposits are not insured under the DICGC? What deposits are not insured under DICGC? Yes. Question number 475. 40th question. Yes, true. So all these deposits are not insured under the DICGC, like deposit that are interbanked. ठीक है, interbank ने आपस में इन्होंने शेयर किए हुए हैं deposits, then these kind of deposits are not covered under DICGC. Deposits of state land development banks with the state cooperative banks, deposit of foreign government. ठीक है. Question number 41. Who can be the chairman of BPSS? Yes, the governor of RBI is the one who is chairing the board of BPSS. What is the maximum insurance amount insured by the DICGC? Very easy question. And there is a lot of discussion that is going around the limit increase of the DICGC as well. So अभी कुछ finalize नहीं हुआ है, but still DICGC की अभी current limit क्या है ये पूछी जा सकती है. Yes, B is the right answer. That is 5 lakh. X has an account in SBI for more than 5 years and she has a balance of 4 lakh in it. After a certain time, the bank goes bankrupt and DICGC decides to pay the deposits holder the insured amount of money. What amount will X get provided that there is a 80,000 in her bank account for interest? Question number 477. 43 question. No, A is not the right answer. So B is the right answer. That is 4,80,000. So your own money plus the interest that is due on your money. Both of them, if it is under the limit of 5 lakh, then it is claimable by you. That means you can claim it. So 4,80,000 is the total amount that you can claim uh, through this DICGC. So B is the right answer. चलिए इसे हम 44 कंसीडर कर लेते हैं. चलो 479. When was the Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited established? When was the Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited was established? Question number 479. Not C. B is the right answer. That is 3rd February 1995 is the right answer. So Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited was established on 3rd February 1995, and this is the, we can say, the sole authority that can issue the currency in India, and this is one of the subsidiary of the RBI. Okay, so these are some basic points. Market stabilization scheme is also known as dash. The reverse repo rate, MSF, sterilization, repo rate, LAF. Question number 45. Market stabilization scheme. C. Yes. Sterilization. Sterilization is a market stabilization scheme wherein आप लॉन्ग रन में टी बिल्स की जो यील्ड है उसे कंट्रोल करना चाह रहे हैं. ठीक है, जो भी हमारे गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज हैं या फिर जो हमारे टी बिल्स हैं at which the government borrows money, they are being controlled in a long run. ठीक है, तो उसमें शॉर्ट पीरियड में शायद बाय और सेल किया जाता है, लॉन्ग रन में यू आर बाइंग और सेलिंग. ठीक है, तो इसमें sterilization में at a simultaneous basis, that means on a same day you are buying or selling the short term securities and you are buying or selling the long term securities in order to manage the liquidity as well, in order to manage the inflation as well, and while also keeping the yield in control. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 45 वी आर डन. 46 देखते हैं. व्हेन वाज द मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी फॉर्म्ड. ये क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है कि लेटेस्ट कितनेवीं एमपीसी अभी कंडक्ट हुई थी, तो ये आप बता सकते हैं दैट 59th एमपीसी अभी रिसेंटली कंडक्ट हुई थी. एंड व्हेन वाज एमपीसी वाज फॉर्म्ड. यस, वेरी इजी क्वेश्चन. व्हेन वाज एमपीसी फॉर्म्ड? No, A is not a right answer. It was established in 2016, that is C. MPC was formed in 2016, that is C is the right answer. When was the SEBI established as a regulatory body? बहुत ही basic question है, बस just to check that you know about this basic information as well. Yes, question number 47. Yes, A is the right answer. That SEBI as a regulatory body was established on 12th April 1992. Great. Sure. Which of the following was the first regional bank of India? पहला रीजनल बैंक ऑफ इंडिया कौन था? छत्तीसगढ़ राज्य ग्रामीण बैंक, उड़ीसा ग्राम्य बैंक, प्रथमा ग्रामीण बैंक, एलाक्वाई देहाती बैंक, उड़ीसा ग्रामीण बैंक. क्वेश्चन नंबर 48. Yes. Prathama Grameen Bank was the first regional bank in India that was established in India on 2nd October 1975. चलो आगे देखते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 49. When was the EXIM established? Export Import Bank of India. No, D is not a right answer. तो EXIM मैंने कैसे याद किया हुआ है? जैसे मैं EXIM एक्ट 1981 बहुत बारी यूज होता है इन रेगुलेशन एज वेल. तो EXIM एक्ट 1981 बहुत बारी पढ़ते हैं, तो उसके एक साल बाद 1982 में दिस वाज फाइनली इस्टेब्लिश्ड. तो इस तरह से याद रखेंगे. EXIM एक्ट 1981 और 1982 में इसे इस्टेब्लिश कर दिया गया था. ठीक है, 49 सी इज द राइट आंसर इसमें. ठीक है, लास्ट क्वेश्चन देखते हैं. क्वेश्चन नंबर 50. Which committee recommended the incorporation of ECGC? That is Export Credit Guarantee Corporation. ECGC को किसने recommend किया था? Which committee? The last question. Any guesses? कोई भी guess लगाना हो अगर आपको नहीं आ रहा ये क्वेश्चन तो. Yes. So C is the right answer. That is Kapoor committee ने Kapoor committee recommended the formation of ERIC, जिसको बाद में नाम चेंज करके ECGC रख दिया गया था. तो ERIC was formed on 30th July 1957. 30th July 1957 में ERIC was formed, that is Export Risk Insurance Corporation. Export Risk Insurance Corporation. This was established and later it was named as ECGC in 1964. इसका नाम चेंज कर दिया था. So with this we are done with the 50 questions of the finance. I hope you have liked the questions and you have revised it well and you have learned a lot from these questions. In case you have any doubt in the questions, tell me in the comment section. I'll try to resolve that as soon as possible. And goodbye everyone. Take care of yourself and best of luck for the examination. Goodbye. Prepare well.